Hi guys. This is going to be an open discussion. If you do want to join me, just send a request. I want to talk to myself. That guy, Q, blessing. I mean, really, guys, you really gonna leave me to talk alone? Atlechang,
Hey, evening. How's it going?
I'm good in yourself.
All right, man. So, are we buying this dip or what's the plan?
I was about to ask you. It depends. What you mean by how am I doing? Um, if it's with regards to crypto, I'm doing just fine. I'm actually having fun.
Yeah, I think the challenge, especially with people that are experiencing, their first major dip, it can get a bit, challenging to handle the downward movement, right? But being in the space from early 2017 and being able to hold out for so long, this is actually a welcomed opportunity. So I think, if you have a clear understanding of the space, then you'd welcome this opportunity to buy.
Would you welcome a minus 50% in a single day?
Well, with the 50% is from the 64,000 US dollar top, right? So the today wasn't necessarily a 50% drop from what I see in the charts.
Yeah, no, I agree. You know, I don't get why people are actually panicking about cryptocurrency because we do actually know that that's the nature of this particular asset to invest in. And I remember in the Telegram group, someone was assuming that I'm panicking or I'm checking the movements too often. And I was just like, you know what, I'm just having fun because I'm not emotionally invested. Even though I do have money there, it's so insignificant. And that was always the plan on how to invest on crypto. But I think the ones that are panicking are probably the one that just invested in Bitcoin or crypto yesterday. And then this happens today.
Yeah, I think especially with the meme coins, right? So when you look at stuff like Dogecoin and what's this other Unu coin, that's where the the new people actually started investing in, and people should actually look at Bitcoin first and then look at the alternative coins. But Elon has pushed Dogecoin so much that people were attracted to it, right? But when you look at the entire crypto space, the Bitcoin maximalist, I like the approach they took with Elon, where they basically told him, if you're gonna mess around with the market so much, you should just sell your Bitcoin, right? Because Bitcoin is not about one person; it's about building a new financial monetary system, right? So.
Yeah.
People don't get that, so the dip is welcomed by the Bitcoiners.
Yeah. I won't lie. Actually, I bought some of that EC10 token when the dip happened. I was like, you know what? If there isn't a better time, if this isn't that time to buy, then I don't know what is. And obviously, I didn't put a significant amount there. But I mean, if it continues to dip, I'm just gonna laugh my way down. Q, Blessing, welcome to the conversation.
Thank you, Tez.
How are you feeling?
Um,
Are you are you in panic mode?
Look, when it dipped sometime during the day,
Yeah.
I went in. I went in
Okay.
because there are certain coins that I believe in. I feel like every time we put money into a coin, we've done some sort of research on the coin. We know that okay, Ethiopia is trying to make Cardano maybe its currency, for example, which is why we go in and say, okay, let's put some money in Cardano. So for
Yeah.
me, it was just a good opportunity to go in again. And I think I was fortunate because day before, I think on Thursday or Friday, I withdrew some of my profits, and now I'm putting those profits back in.
Oh, okay. So
Um,
that is good for you then.
yeah, and yeah, we look at certain coins and we don't just buy in, and we don't put in our grocery money in there.
Yo,
We put
Q,
in money
you telling me that
for at
now?
least.
You telling me that now? You know, I put in my car installment. I thought we were going to the moon the way Shiba Inu got hyped. I just took my car installment and I was like, you know what? If I die, I die. And now you tell me that no, we don't do that. That's a bit too late, don't you
No,
think?
but it's crypto. I feel like as investors or traders or whichever space we're in, we need to be very careful with our money. Look, I've seen a lot of things, and even those WhatsApp stock files, I've been burnt a lot of times. I think that's why I'm very cautious with the money I put into things. But it's we don't YOLO with your car installment.
But you know what? Um, second time's a charm. I'll just tell my bank, you know what? I know I missed the first payment, but I'll pay you four times back. And I'll just buy the dip with next month's car installment. And you know what? YOLO. If I die, I die. I trust
Yeah,
Shiba
the
Inu.
trick is not to invest more than you can afford to lose, right? And I think people don't really understand that. They think it's just, one of those things investors say. But it's really important that when you invest, especially for the long term, you should not be trying to use money that you will need in a month, 2 months, 3 months, or a
Yeah.
year, right? Then on days like these, it's easier for you to add on to your position, especially if you have conviction, right? so so if you're using your rent money, you're definitely gonna lose money.
And you know what's the funny thing? The funny thing is, it's always the people that invest money they need that probably get the worst end of the stick. Because someone actually tweeted me today that she was at was it McDonald's yesterday, and there was someone there signing up people to Luno. You know, now imagine like you're signing up people and you hyping them up that you know what, Bitcoin is going to the moon, Elon Musk, and then the next day it's like wiped 40%, 30 to 40%, and all those people that you've signed up now have to come back to you. Blessing.
I have to I have to laugh because because this thing that's happening here is how I learned my lesson in crypto. So I am one of those guys who went in big around mid 2017 when there was so much noise around Bitcoin, stuff like that. So I went in big. 2017 December, it was crazy high back then, and I was clever enough to take half my money out. and, and then it crashed. It crashed like big time, and that's when I came up with this strategy that says, okay, fine. I put in 5,000 Rand in there to buy my Bitcoin. I'll wait for it to get to 10,000. Once it hits 10,000, I will take my 5,000 out. Whatever happens with the remaining 5,000, I don't care.
You know what they call that?
I've taken my capital out.
Isn't that the pyramid scheme method? You know when everyone tells you to join a pyramid scheme, they just tell you know what? No, put in your 500 Rand. When it doubles, take your 500 Rand out, and then whatever is there, you've lost it. So it seems like you dive into pyramid schemes quite often, and you're accustomed to this method.
I've never been in a pyramid scheme, but the way it crashed in early 2018, late 2017, it made me suffer. I had the BPs and the sugars and all that stuff. But I learned my lesson, so I just decided that okay, fine, I'll keep 5,000 in. If it goes up and doubles that 5,000, I take my 5,000 out.
Okay, I've got two.
It doubles again, I take.
I've got two questions for you. I've got two questions for you. Right?
Yes.
The first question is, what if you put your 5,000 in and it doesn't double, it halves? Then what?
Okay, it's already money that I was prepared to lose anyway. So
okay.
But then with the markets, right? It doesn't matter which market. If you've put your money in there after doing proper research on what you're buying, at some point it will go up. And just because I like with the crypto thing, there is a lot of coins that are coming in and that are mainly affected by this Elon Musk phenomenon.
Yeah.
You tend to see that market as a high risk market. So yes, I'm prepared to invest in it. I put in that 5,000, knowing very well that it's a market. It might have. Okay. I need to be prepared to hold on. But if it does double, let me take my 5,000 out and wait for it to double again. Take my 5,000 out. And when it goes down, like this time, I'm really hoping that it keeps itself down for the next 3 days so that I can get my money out of the 3-day notice and buy.
Oh my goodness! Wait. So yeah, that was actually my second question. So you're not invested right now. So this didn't affect you, this dip.
No, I am invested, but all the money that is in there is profits. I took my capital out a long time ago. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're ready to go.
Yep.
You're ready to take another dive in.
Yes.
Okay. No. All the best.
Blessing, one question for you. How are you managing the tax with all your sales that you've been making?
Blessing?
Oh, sorry, I had put on mute. It's a complicated thing, really, because I hear there is a new taxation scheme that's coming for the crypto world, but back then I don't think it's like the previous years that we've had. I didn't see anything bad about it. I mean, if I can receive my salary and get taxed 30%, 35%, I wouldn't mind taking profit on an investment and getting taxed 18%, 20%. I wouldn't mind. But with the new tax scheme that's coming, I don't know. But that's not going to stop me from investing, because either way, guys, it's the same thing, right? If you invest in yourself, you grow in whatever profession that you are in, and all of a sudden you've grown your salary to 100,000 Rand per month, and the taxman comes and takes 33%. It's a lot more than whatever amount they're going to tax us on crypto or on any other form of investment. So I normalize taking profit. I don't fear tax.
I like the way you think. To the guys that have just joined, this is an open discussion. If you do want to say something or contribute, you can just send me a request and I will make you a speaker. Michael.
Hey man.
How's it going? That's a double-sided question. I'm asking how are your emotions, and I'm asking how is it going by crypto.
I'm happy even though I own Bitcoin. I'm actually very happy because something that I predicted to happen is actually happening when it came to Bitcoin.
Oh, so you're happy because you were right. You're not happy because you lost money.
Nah, the losses were anticipated. If you anticipate death, you get ready for your funeral.
Okay, so how did you get ready for this?
No, I dumped some of my coin a couple of weeks ago. So now the hit I'm taking, even though I'm emotional, I'm saying, at least I took out something early.
I actually saw a tweet from Gavin as well. Gavin is here in the space, and he sold just before the dip happened. And that was quite lucky. And usually when it comes to stocks, there's a certain platform where the actual opposite happened, where directors sold their shares just before the share price went up, and I can't imagine how.
Wasn't that Coinbase?
No, it's a local company. So I can't imagine how happy Gavin was to see that he just dodged the bullet in terms of his crypto portfolio. So are you going to be buying more, Michael?
No, I'm not going to buy more.
You've had enough?
Not now. Nah, it's not that I've had enough. I think my scariest conspiracy theory about Bitcoin might be coming true.
What is that?
It's too volatile, and when I looked at the news that was coming from the People's Bank in China, they saw what many people in the crypto space were saying about Bitcoin. It's too volatile. I think Doge and Ethereum are coming out on this one on top. I think maybe in the next 10 years, there may be no Bitcoin.
Doge to the moon? So we should buy Dogecoin. Or what's that other one? Shiba Inu.
Yeah, so I want to disagree with Michael there. So,
I knew there was someone going to disagree.
This China banning Bitcoin news, it's actually not the first time that, statements like these have been made. So in 2018, what actually started or accelerated the bear market was news like China is banning Bitcoin, India is banning Bitcoin, and we're getting similar news again, right? And when you look at who is actually purchasing Bitcoin right now, it's no longer only retail, right? So banks are actually in the US are going to start offering Bitcoin in June, right? So that's major news because 300 million plus people in the US will have access to buying Bitcoin from their bank account, right? So my theory is that the banks actually need a way to accumulate Bitcoin because Tesla, one of the board members or one of the people in the board actually works for BlackRock. And BlackRock is like a 10 trillion asset management firm, and they might also look into ways to get Bitcoin. So I think there's a lot of manipulation in this space. And Elon is central to possibly on-ramping institutions, right? Because guys saw that Elon bought some Bitcoin. he tweeted that he bought Bitcoin. The price went to 64, thousand US dollars, and they were on the sidelines. So now this is a perfect opportunity for them to buy in, and unfortunately, the retail guys will sell, and they'll buy in again at 100K.
But then,
I think.
there's two market indicators in terms of people that we should actually look at. And the one that most people know is Elon himself. And the second one that people are actually ignoring, and he sent out a very big warning that this could happen, is DJ Spoo. DJ Spoo told people to buy Bitcoin at the peak. And I've been running to his Twitter profile to see what's happening, and he's just sending out motivational quotes. So I don't know if he's trying to relax the people that he told to buy Bitcoin at the peak, or he's already forgotten about cryptocurrency and it's not really a get-rich-quick scheme he thought. But he was a very good indicator.
But I have a question for the guy who was saying he disagreed with me. But the thing is about Bitcoin is, yes, you can talk about banks being able to accept it and all, but where is the intrinsic value? I still don't see it.
Okay, I'd like to answer your question there about intrinsic value. The value of things like this is always determined by demand and supply, right? It's like buying a goat. There's no like price tag or a value tag that you can put on a goat. It just depends on how many people want to buy goats and how many goats are there on the market. So the intrinsic value is the perceived value, the value that it is perceived to have by the market, which is the value of commodities. Which is how commodities have always been valued in the first place. And even things like your cars today, it's a perceived value. People buy very expensive watches, right? It's perceived value. So that's what happens for me. That's how I understand the whole concept of cryptocurrencies. The value is always determined by the market. It's demand versus supply. It's unlike the normal currencies like the currencies that we have here in Southern Africa, where if there is a very powerful government, it can determine how its currency is valued independent of who wants it. It's different. So let the market determine the value of the things that the market use or the things that the market is buying. That's my take on crypto.
We've got two new speakers, Will and Msenti. Atlekang, you want to add something?
Yeah, so maybe before Will and Msenti chip in, I just want to break down the whole, Bitcoin does not have value, or where does the value come from? So I think before we can get to that or answering that question, I think it's fairly important that we understand what money is, right? Because a lot of us use it, but we don't really understand what money is, right? So there's money and then there's currency. And I think people sometimes, use those two interchangeably, which kind of makes sense because, the education is something that you need to go look for yourself in order to understand the difference between the two, right? So with currency, we have different currencies. Like we have, the South African rand, we have the US dollar, right? It can also be viewed as money when you use it for, savings and not necessarily doing transactions, right? So now the issue comes with how did we start, where did the need for us to use money come from? Because, we used to do the whole bartering stuff, and then There were like, shells that we used to use. And how did the shell have any value? The shell had value because you knew that if I have these two shells, someone will give me, one chicken because, that's the value or the trust that we have amongst us as the people that use that particular currency, right? So with Bitcoin, the true value of Bitcoin is that it's a currency that basically, well, currently it cannot actually be defined as a currency. It's defined as a store of value, and it's hard money, right? So how do you get to saying Bitcoin is a store of value of hard money? So money has different stages that it must go through for it to reach like currency level. So it starts off as a collectible, right? So when something is a collectible, people will just, collect it. And then if it gains, a strong network, it will become a store of value. Once it's, gone over the store of value part, it will move over to being a medium of exchange, and lastly, a unit of account. So we are not at the unit of account stage, or we are not at, the stages where we can view it as a currency. So people say, Bitcoin is a bad currency because it's volatile, but it's still on the early stages of money, right? The second stage, which is store of value. So I hope I kind of explained that, okay.
There I heard you, but I didn't fully agree.
At what stage is Dogecoin at? I want to know when I can.
Dogecoin is at the collectible stage, right? It's not even store of value. It's not considered store of value. Something is store of value when you have companies adding it to their treasury reserve, right? That's why MicroStrategy has done it. That's why Tesla has done it. That's why Square has done it. That's why Coinbase has done it. And all these mining companies, right? They are adding Bitcoin to their treasury reserve because they view it as a store of value, meaning that if they buy Bitcoin today, in 10 years at the very least, they'll have the same amount, if not more, because they have allocated Bitcoin to their treasury. So Dogecoin, it's not there yet. No one is putting Dogecoin on their treasury reserve, not even Elon Musk.
So what if Elon
Tesla
tomorrow tweets and then he says, you know what, guys, you guys can buy Tesla with Dogecoin?
Yeah, it's not a store of value. It's a currency then. It's not necessarily a store of value because he's not adding it to his treasury reserve, right?
Interesting. I think we should advocate that, Dogecoin should become the newest currency, guys. I don't know about you, but I love dogs. So yeah. Senti?
Yeah, good evening, all. Yeah, the last guy that spoke just
Sorry,
mentioned
Senti,
most of the things that I just...
Before
Yeah.
you continue, how are you doing? How are the markets?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Yeah, well, what's personally hurting me is the US markets. But the crypto side, yeah, it's just something that I didn't get in early enough, but which is a regret. But anyway, I'm not hurt because also with me, it's just play money.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay. When people say it's
yeah,
play
but I just
money,
wanted-
when people say it's play money, it
Yeah.
means they've been hit
Yeah.
hard, and they're just like, you know what?
No, I haven't been hit hard. Like my regret with crypto is not taking it seriously earlier. Which
Okay.
and by earlier I mean like 5 years ago or 6 years back, because I think I would have went in, and if I would have went in at that time, I think I would have been one of those crazy simile guy who would have just bought and held forever. I wouldn't have, like, if I think I've got like a number of bitcoins, I would have been
Okay.
holding forever.
Because there's people.
So
There's people they'll
Yeah.
tweet. They'll be like, "Yo, look at my EC10 token. Oh, 1,000%." You
Yeah.
know, And then the crash happens and you ask them,
Yeah.
yo, how's it going? And they're like, it's just play money. It's just play money. It's not hitting me hard. You know, so that's why I'm asking.
No,
Okay.
yeah.
So you good?
Yeah, I get that.
Okay.
Yeah. So the reason the guy that just last spoke explained most of the things that I just wanted to mention. Like, first of all, like the three biggest cryptos, which is Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XPR. Those things, they exist for a reason. Just they exist for, they represent something. They represent a special thought, or solving something, or introduce a methodology for doing something. So, like, if you're one of those people, like, or their intentions were not meant to be investment. They are not meant to be what people are just doing now, which is just like buy at a lower price and sell higher, right? They actually have use cases. They solve use cases. Like, for example, I think the oldest crypto, which is Bitcoin, like, one of its biggest advantage, or of its biggest representation, is its decentralization, right? Like, you don't want something that is controlled by organizations or governments.
Or Elon
the
Musk.
main use case for maybe Elon Musk is an influencer, but not really a controller. Like, governments literally control money. They literally print it out and make it. Like, Bitcoin has a fixed value, so there's a finite amount of Bitcoins available, and there's no way to change it. There's no way to make more than the specified amount that would be issued. There's no way to create fake Bitcoin. There's no it's like there's no way to launder it, or actually control it like the way money is controlled. Like, it's self-sustaining, right? It's like the technology that's built behind it is blockchain. Blockchain is meant to solve those kind of problems. So that goes the same for Ethereum. Ethereum is actually not even the name of the coin. The coin is called ETH, I think, and it's based on Ethereum. Ethereum, so it is like it's also a way of writing code or programs or contracts that are not mutable. So once you put out something, or you agree to something, and then you write it in Ethereum, or you run it behind the Ethereum software, it guarantees that whatever you agreed to, you will not change it. So it has a use. So it's just nice that they also paid it with a coin. And then the third one, XPR. Well, XPR is like a more of a corrective measure for Bitcoin. So it's just like, so the guys that made XPR, they saw that this works, but then it has some problems, like especially for transferring, and like the amount of energy that Bitcoin uses to be created or transferred is worse. So XPR is used to make those things better. So I'm just wondering, so if any of you guys, like, if you buy these things, you must always have this at the back of your mind. Like, if you buy this, you should have at least think that at some point you actually have these things will become useful. These are actual things, even though, as the guy said, they're still at their infinite stage. So we can't guarantee that whether one special coin is better than the other, or which one will be the ultimate one. Like, Bitcoin is the oldest, but it's hard not to say that it might disappear. But the whole thing, cryptocurrency, or the way money works, will definitely change. So, like, I'm just saying, as we invest, just always keep this in mind. And then obviously the others are just crap. So literally the Dogecoin one was actually created to prove that crypto is nothing. You can just make crypto, and you can just use it as a payment, as long as there's somebody that's willing to give or take it. So I'm just saying, have that in mind. Like, if you invest in these things, hopefully at one time we'll have more coins that are actually created to solve real problems, or like as alternative for money. So and at that point, it doesn't matter, like, or those guys who actually believe that Bitcoin is something that's more useful, that will replace money. So it doesn't matter, like, the kind of value that it has against the dollar. So if I bought it early as well, I think I would have been on that side. So it doesn't matter if one Bitcoin is worth 30,000 or 50,000 or 60,000. So if you're buying it for as something that's useful, you can actually, the price is irrelevant. And especially as there are more people who are actually willing to take it as payment, then it shouldn't be even a thing. Okay, because it Doesn't matter if it's worth 50,000 or 100 to the dollar, because to the dollar shouldn't matter to you. Okay, that's all for now.
Thank you for your contribution. It kind of makes sense. I think Dogecoin and Shiba Inu also do have a purpose. They were created for a reason. One was created to make us laugh, which is Dogecoin, and the other one was created to stop making us laugh, which is Shiba Inu. I see we have Tabile.
Absolutely.
Tabile, before you start, I'm asking everyone this question: how are you doing today?
I must say that I'm doing fantastic.
You're doing fantastic.
Yes, this was quite by many analysis. It was quite.
Sorry, Tabile, we can barely hear you. Can you try?
Can you hear me?
It's very noisy. It's distorted. We can't hear you clearly.
Okay. All right. Let me try. And I'm using my earphones, so let me try and take them off.
Okay.
While he does that, I just want to clarify something Msenti said. The other token that he mentioned, it's actually called XRP. It was created by a company called Ripple, and what their main use case is they want to be basically the bridge between they want to use it for cross-border payments, right? So I'm sure you guys are aware there's something called SWIFT. That's what we normally use for international payments. So they want to assist the CDBCs, which is the central bank digital currencies, with basically allowing them to do those international transactions. Which is okay, but it kind of doesn't make sense if Bitcoin can do the same thing, right? So most Bitcoiners don't really like XRP because firstly they want to work with, banks, and Bitcoin is kind of anti-banks. so yeah, that's what XRP does as far as I know.
Thanks for that, Atle Khang. Tabile?
Hi there.
So
Can you hear me?
yes. We're ready to hear your tears. How are you doing? How has the markets been?
I guess I would say from the crypto space, it's really tears of joy.
Okay. Okay, and why is that?
Many analysts did predict that your big whales were coming through. And you could even see on the fluctuation of the stock in the last 3 weeks, that there was manipulation, especially when it came, when Bitcoin hit the 60 mark. And then it was slowly coming down and slowly coming down. And you could also see in terms of the flow of chart, in terms of the hodling as well as the selling, that there were big whales. If you use some of the crypto systems, you could see that. I think for those who might want to know better, there is a YouTube called Bitcoin Manipulation 2021. It uses the YCO distribution model to really assess and see how the stock will perform over time. And the YCO distribution mimics exactly what has happened. And I looked at that about 3 weeks ago. And I made sure that, I get some spare change to see that I can buy the dip. And I woke up at about 5 o'clock this morning, and I could see that Ethereum, Bitcoin, Doge, they were coming down.
EC10.
And I went
You
in.
forgot EC10.
That's for you. I'm just, yeah. So when Bitcoin hit 29, I went in. When Ethereum went 29, I went in, and then from there on, I think it was hovering around about 19. I also went in, and Bitcoin went in about 30. I also went in. So this was really predicted that it will, but also there is a prediction that there will still be another downturn going forward before we could see an upsurge going forward. Because as you know, some of the big institutions who've got quite a lot of substantial cash are just coming through the market now, and they want to make sure that they can bring the price as low as possible so that they can then pump the market and also make profits. This is how they do in your conventional stock. They come in there with their billions, making sure that they'll create panic. And I think the best strategy really is about making sure that you invest what you can stomach, not really what you can lose, because once you sell, it's when you lose. But if your stock can go down by 50%, you have not lost anything. Your stock of value is really 50% less, but your money is still there. And if you have faith in whatever product that you're buying in the long term, and obviously with your homework, you could in the long run be able to ride the wave. And this is something that I've even highlighted, Fred, that the psychology of investing. And if you remember the last time I spoke, I said one of the biggest danger that your retail investor do not understand is that there are algorithms behind investment and psychological, algorithms that they use to make sure that they intimidate investors so that they can get out of the market, so that ultimately the market can be for those who are well off, and as they become well off, they become even more well off. So really, this was predated, and as I'm saying, if you could look at that YouTube that I saw 3 weeks ago, I
Just
was
repeat the
then
name.
prepared for this. It's called Bitcoin Manipulation 2021.
Okay.
Yeah, textbook Wyckoff distribution exposed. So they used the Wyckoff distribution model that was developed in the 1920s to really explain how the market in general operates. And the market in general is operated by big conglomerates who think that they should be the ones who sit in the table of privilege and the table of wealth. And if you come there in the table trying to distract them or trying to form part of that table of wealth, they will do all the tricks in the book to make sure that they intimidate you, to make sure that they take you out of the market. And as they do that, then they up the price once again. It's really just about monopoly capital, as the most famous word is really used in South Africa. When Pepsi came in South Africa, what did Coke do? They lowered their price to such an extent that Pepsi was not able to have any profit margins. And then when Pepsi was taken out of the market, what did Coca-Cola do? They upped their prices again. And that's how then the Competition Commission was set up, because of those market manipulation that Coke and other conglomerates were doing. And they do exactly the same also in the market. in the stock market because the stock market is really not regulated by Competition Commission. People can short the stock. People can make sure that the stock goes down. But ultimately, the end goal of whatever they're doing is to make sure that they maximize profits and they minimize losses. And that's what really happens. So that's yeah.
Tabile, just a question for you. I don't know if you saw this news, but I want to know what your view is on Coinbase basically closing down the sell button on Ethereum. So people couldn't jump off the ship. They were locked into the burning building.
Yeah. Look, you know what? To be honest, some of these crypto stock platforms, they have, if you'd notice, even Robinhood, Coinbase, they have a big market share in these stocks, and as a result, they want to first come out of the burning building before you guys can come out. So that's why, yeah. So it's really just plain how capital works, and therefore, if you had got out, if you wanted to take your profit, you could have done that over the weekend because you could see, in terms of just how the fluctuation of the market was going, that it was time to get out. The time today was a time to buy. And that is what the big whales have done. And that is what many people who had predicted what is going to happen were waiting for. And so this time was not a time to sell, but a time to buy. And therefore, when they sell, they already preempt and make sure that the retail investors, they cut them off. The issue of GameStop, GameShop, as well as AMC is a classical example. Where those stocks were, they had shot the stock, and when the retail investors wanted to come in, and the big retailers, and the big corporates such as Robinhood didn't want to lose their profit, and they made sure that people could not buy those stocks. So unfortunately, that is what the capitalist system is, and you just need to make sure that you are able to calculate yourself when to sell and when to buy.
It's
a day before. Yeah.
It's funny when most people when they YOLO into the stock, there's a term, if I die, I die. And it's all good in the beginning until death comes, and then it's panic and no one wants to die anymore. Everyone wants to run away.
Yeah.
I'll give you the mic just now, Atlehang. Msenti made a comment that it was just play money for him, and I just want to get a feel from the audience. If you are in the same situation as Msenti and it was just play money, can I see your 100s? Okay, so far it's only Msenti. Any other 100s? Okay, there's Fred. Yo. Okay, guys. If it wasn't play money, like if you guys are really burning, don't say anything. Don't put any emoticon. Just be silent. Let me see how many people are burning right now. Okay, I see some people sending emoticons. So everyone is dying, wait.
Sorry.
Okay, I see some
Tess,
hundreds.
I've put in the link there for the YouTube video that I talked about.
Okay.
On my Twitter handle, and so people can just follow that link, and it will take them right through that YouTube video.
Okay. I saw a bit of reactions. So it seemed like we've got some survivors. Atlehang, you wanted to say something, and then I'll hand the mic over to Fred.
Sure, man. So I just wanted to add on that Coinbase, not being available for trading.
The homicide.
Yeah. So So I was actually surprised when Coinbase went public because every time there's market volatility, Coinbase always goes down, right? So I thought by now they would have, sorted out their infrastructure to be ready for, millions and millions of users. But that has not happened. But what they do is actually quite similar to what happens in traditional investing. And I know there's a lot of guys in here that, are equity investors and they can jump in and correct me if I'm wrong. But I understand that there's a specific percentage in the traditional stock market where if the price of an equity goes down, they stop trading. And then they take like a 15-minute break or something, and then they resume trading. So I think because crypto is not regulated, we don't have any of that, right? It's a 24/7, 365. So I think, the money guys, the institutional guys are trying to, bring some form of regulation into the space, which is anti what Bitcoin stands for. So guys are building, DeFi applications, which is basically they're building on top of decentralized finance. And on there you have, DEXs, which is decentralized exchanges, where you can trade 24/7. There's no central place for failure. And that's where I think probably in the next 5-10 years, that's where we could be trading. But for now, we need to rely on centralized exchanges like your Coinbase, your Binance, your Luno in South Africa, your Vala, etc. So yeah, that's my understanding of what's happening with Coinbase and the constant shutting.
What you're talking about is basically when a particular stock is very volatile, it enters what you call an auction market. So that's basically just to regulate the pace of how the price of a particular stock is fluctuating, So if a particular stock on the JSE does enter an auction market, no one is able to trade that stock on whatever platform because the stock is down in that central position. In this situation, though, you had Coinbase, one cryptocurrency exchange out of the thousands that are available, actively switch off the sell button. So if you were trading crypto on eToro, you could still sell Ethereum. Vela, you could still sell. But if you were in the unfortunate position to be having your cryptos on Coinbase, unfortunately, you were not able to liquidate. So that was what the situation was in that case. So it wasn't a case that it was volatile and, the markets stopped. It was Coinbase actively saying, you know what, guys? I saw your tweets. You said if you die, you die. That time has come. So let's see now how we're going to handle this. It was unfortunate, but funny. But yeah. Fred?
Hi, what's up, everyone? Hope everyone's doing well.
Fred,
yeah,
Fred,
just
Fred,
came on.
Fred,
I've been
sorry,
listening.
Fred.
Yeah.
House rules. Before you start speaking, how are you doing today?
I'm not too happy.
Oh, someone
Yeah, it's been a
finally
rough
some
day.
honesty.
No, it's been a rough day, bro. Especially on the equity side, stocks. Yeah, it's not been good. But I just wanted to add on to the Bitcoin conversation. I'm not really much of a crypto investor. Just been watching, everyone speak every day on Twitter about it, and also just keeping track of how Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are moving. But I'm not sure how many of the speakers or the audience know what actually caused the price to sell off like that. So I read today that China actually has banned finance firms from serving crypto transactions. Okay, so that is major. Not sure if any of you guys read that or heard of that.
Yes, I
Yes,
did.
yes, I did hear about it, and I then in the morning joined another Doge platform, and and you know these Americans, they don't sleep. So when I was preparing for the kids, I then joined in there, and this one investor who's got a business partner in China disputed that to say that he says that there's nothing of that kind. Apparently, these news that they banning Bitcoin are circulated at least 10 times a year about China, and that never materializes. So I think it's one of those, once again, strategies to make sure that they bring down the stock, and create panic and fear, whilst at the same time, the big corporates are then buying the dip. And obviously, what's going to happen then is that it's still going to be the same corporates who hype up the stock. You're going to see in the news how wonderful Bitcoin is, how wonderful other cryptocurrencies are. And what they're doing then is that they're trying to attract your, what you call it, your retail investor, while at the same time knowing that the bulk of the coins or the crypto, they bought those at the dip, and you are just propelling them, up as you do that. So yeah.
Yeah, just to add on to that, if it's okay.
Yes.
So like I said earlier on, I think Fred had not joined at the time. This news of China banning Bitcoin has been mentioned from, I believe, 2016, right? So I have in front of me an article dated June 25th, 2009, and it's the same thing, saying that, the People's Bank of China is banning Bitcoin. So when you go and look at how China has actually defined Bitcoin, they've said that Bitcoin is classified under property. So you are actually allowed to own Bitcoin. So they actually have regulations, particularly on Bitcoin. So this news of China banning Bitcoin, it's there just to introduce fear, uncertainty, and doubt. There's another article that said that India is also going to ban, Bitcoin. Nigeria was said that it's going to ban Bitcoin. So, countries are always coming out saying that they'll ban Bitcoin. But if you truly understand Bitcoin, you understand that it can't be banned, right? So because it's a protocol that allows you to use it anyway, right? So you can't ban Bitcoin. So if someone says Bitcoin is being banned, it tells me that they don't understand Bitcoin yet. And it's understandable because it's only 12 years old. So we're still in the early stages. And with education, articles like these can be ignored. But for now, they can't be ignored. And when you add on top of that what happened with Elon Musk and his comments on energy, right? Again, people got nervous because, Elon is the Tesla guy, we look to him with regards to information around energy consumption. And what you'd find out wrong by multiple scholars within the Bitcoin space, to a point where they actually told him he should just sell his Bitcoin.
Oh, I think we lost him there. But
Yeah.
I think what he was about to say was, they told him he should just sell his Bitcoin and buy a lot of Doge with the money he makes from that, Doge and Shiba. I'm pretty sure that's where he was going. But Msenti, yes.
Yeah, I also wanted to extend on the same thing that I was saying. Like the way that Bitcoin technology is set up, it's almost impossible to ban by any government or by anything. Not that to say that their governments aren't strong and powerful, but it's still a new thing. But the way that blockchain, the decentralization works, it can't be banned. Currently, it can't be banned. The only thing they can control, they can tell their companies that they control, or companies that are in China not to accept it. But that still wouldn't stop people from using it. Well, obviously, some people this point was also just made a few minutes ago, that most people own these things only through decentralized apps or Luno, Vala, or whatnot. But you can actually, like, your Bitcoin or other cryptos can exist out of those things. You can still own it without even having those, but it's just like more difficult and maybe not as easy as buying as cheaply. Or on some platform, you actually have to buy full Bitcoin. You can't buy a part of it like you can do on Luna or Vala. But yeah, the people who do know or understand Bitcoin, they shouldn't be shaken by any news of ban. Like, bans are currently virtually impossible to ban Bitcoin or to stop people from transferring or accepting Bitcoins. So they could only stop regulate their approved companies, but the normal people, the normal public anywhere else, there's really nothing they can do right now to stop it. Or to ban it. Maybe they can crash it, but they cannot stop it. They cannot ban it.
Yeah, I agree with that. When the dip happened, and I actually went on Velar. I use Velar because they've got a lot of cryptocurrencies, and it's easier to see holistically how the general cryptocurrencies are moving. And there was a really big population that went down double digits, and it was a really good shopping opportunity. I don't know. I want to see if I can get some feedback from the guys listening in. Can I see hundreds if you guys bought the dip or are planning to buy the dip when you have funds? I most certainly did. I don't know if Fred doesn't invest in crypto. Msenti, did you buy the dip?
Where do you guys get? Like, I always see people buying dips on Twitter.
Where do we get money?
Like,
hey, we hustle, Fred.
That's a question. I also want to know the same thing.
I'll understand. Buy the dip once a month. Literally like 5 times in 1 month.
So, Fred,
You don't have to eat. You do not have to eat.
But you eat Bitcoin.
So, Fred, this is how it works, right? When this is how I do it. When I'm investing, I don't put all my money in at once, right? I always have a reserve for times like this, actually, So when I say I'm buying the dip, let's say if my budget is 10,000 Rand, I'm not going to put the whole 10,000 Rand in. I'll put a fraction, and it's there. If it goes up, I am winning. Not at the scale of 10,000 Rand, but I am still winning at the scale of what I've invested in. If something goes wrong, I still have a reserve to make some corrections or to, stabilize the finances or the losses. And that's how it works. Being caught with zero and there's major events happening in the market is very dangerous, especially if you are a trader or an investor. Okay, maybe if you're a long-term investor, it doesn't really matter. But for someone who watches the market quite closely, I always have a reserve ready to pouncing cat, ready to pounce on what happens in the market. So I know people will probably think that, no, this guy is sitting on 10 billion Rand and he can buy the dip whenever he wants. It's just a matter of budgeting and self-control and knowing when is the right time. So in this case, a major dip happened, and luckily I had the reserves to act on it.
So you're one of those people that cut on your cappuccino there.
Yes, I am.
Because I hear some of these investors say that, if you cut out on your monthly cappuccino, you can have so much money.
Damn
I
it.
guess you've cut on those.
Damn it, I've been caught out. I wasn't planning to be found out on the space. But yes, I am the guy.
Yeah.
I haven't had coffee in like 3 years now. So I highly advise you guys do the same thing. Atlekang?
Yeah, so Fred, how I normally manage to have funds to purchase the dip is I have an emergency fund for buying the dip, right? And how you do that is that let's say you have 1,000 that you want to invest, right? Or participate in any market. What I do is I break it down. I say because I have conviction and I like the stock or I like the crypto, I'll put 600 into it. That's for long-term investment. And then I'll take say 300 and then use it to trade, right? So actively try and buy low, sell high, and then always have a 10% cash position on all the platforms that you use, so that when there is a dip, then you have the cash already there. So you don't, invest at one go. You dollar cost average into positions, right? Or in our case, rand cost average into positions. So that's how I do it.
Yes, Fred.
Cool. Thanks, Atle. No, because I personally always, on Twitter timeline, I would see people, call out different stocks. So I think my next question, to any of the speakers really is like, do you plan on buying every dip that you see? Or like, what is your actual strategy? Because for me, there's a difference between my actual portfolio, my investment portfolio, which I have on Easy Equities, right? I get really excited when there's dips on there, but it doesn't really affect me. I'm not really bothered whether my portfolio is down negative 20 or 30%. But on the other hand, I also trade. It is a different scenario when I'm down like 10% on a trade. That's concerning, or whatever the percentage is. So for the investors, meaning when you're buying shares, what is your guys' strategy? Do you buy every dip, or do you wait for periods of a month or 2 months? Because there's always dips. There can be another dip in another stock next month or in the next week. And how do you how do you go about it? Because for me, my strategy is I also have I would say buy the dip savings fund, which I try and accumulate a huge amount before I actually go and consider buying a dip. I'll take about a month to 2 or 3 months where I just put in money and save, and then wait for an actual dip, and then put in money. And then I repeat that process where I try and save up again another 2 or 3 months, a huge amount, and then go back into the markets. So I'm not actively always just trying to buy dips, but I don't know. That's just my strategy. I don't know if any of you guys could answer that.
So I'll answer. Fred, I want to ask you something. When you're cooking, I hope you can cook. How do you know that you've put enough salt?
You taste.
The ancestors don't whisper to you that, yo, my child, it's enough. Okay, I guess.
What
not.
do you mean?
So
No,
when I'm cooking, I hear a whisper in my ear that, hush, child, you've put too much salt. And it's kind of the same thing when it comes to buying the dip. You can see which ones are not the ones you're supposed to buy, But me personally, I have a schedule, right? And usually my schedule correlates with my payday, right? When I'm going to top up on my stocks is on payday. But what happens if on payday, the stocks you want to buy are at a peak? I then usually do my technical analysis to see when the dip could come, and I wait for that. So I don't know if you've seen or if the people have seen, usually during the month or months, I would tweet that I'm sending out the Avengers. And that's just me saying, the funds are going to buy the dip. So I usually wait for that if the dip is going to happen. If the stock has been rallying for 3 days in a row, I'm not gonna just jump in. I'd rather wait for that. So you have a timetable that, listen, at my next payday, this is how much I'm planning to buy in, but I'm gonna buy in when the dip happens, right? But then you can also see if the dip is just a market correction or it's an actual dip. And how do you tell? One way is to see if the general market is moving the same way that that particular stock is moving. So let's say if you wanted to buy Google, you wanted to buy Google at the dip, and Google is down 1%. That's not a real dip, but you want a dollar cost average, so you'd rather buy it at that point anyway. But are you going to put all your money there? No. Where do you put it? In your buy the dip fund, right? And then what happens 2 weeks down the line? There's a general market correction and all the tech stocks are down. That's generally when you then buy the dip. And people must be careful that, when they're buying the dip, you shouldn't aim to buy the dip at the absolute low. You will never get that. That's like gambling or playing the lotto. You can never predict when the actual low is, right? So if you're a long-term investor, you want to buy when the graph is going down, because you've got a better chance of making a profit or a bigger profit, rather than buying it at a peak and then it goes down and then you're sitting there that, I should have waited an extra day. So that's my take on it. And obviously, yeah, if you're trading, which is different to investing, it needs a lot of technical analysis. So I used to trade crude oil, and I always used to wait for the news. When the news says, crude oil is down, oil prices are going down, that's generally when you want to buy. And, obviously you'll put your stop losses, and your stop losses are there to protect you, that just in case this is not the absolute dip you're thinking and it goes more, the stop loss protects you from that, So you kind of approach it in the same way when you're investing. You just buy when the graph is going down, but you can't really anticipate when the actual dip is or the peak bottom. Waiting for that moment you're just going to hurt yourself, And I think there is a quote that says, anticipating the markets is bad or something like that. That's generally how it goes for me.
Sorry, I just want to add something you mentioned. You made an example of Google, right? And you mentioned that you compare it to the general market, right? Correct.
Mm-hmm.
The general market being, let's just say, the S&P 500.
Yeah.
ETF. Okay, cool. No, I just wanted for the audience to understand what you mean by that.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it depends, because there's multiple indexes. So you can decide which index you want to compare it to, But the S&P 500 is a good indicator because it's one of the most generally used, next to the Dow Jones. But I prefer to use S&P 500. I don't know if any of the other speakers have anything to add with regards to Fred's question. They just want to talk about it. Hi.
With me, it's just an agreement with what you were saying. I first look at the dip. Is it like a market-wide dip, or is it a specific company?
Yeah.
And then I look at the fundamentals. For example, if it's a specific company, for example, a few months ago, I'm not sure who was invested in Nikola. And
don't break my heart like that, please.
And yeah, they were news that they were doing some things, bad things, and the stock price plummeted. And it's only when there was news that they were submitting something, it looked like they were going into a favorable position when I bought the dip.
Yeah.
And in terms of the general market, I look at the technicals, like you do.
Yeah.
Where, for example, let's look at crypto, Ethereum. When I bought the dip just now, I looked at the previous support,
Mm.
and then I thought, okay, this would be a good time to go in.
Yeah.
And then I went in, and that's just me. That's how I do it.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. I know even in trading terms, for traders, one of the general rules is don't bet against the market, and that's a very big risk. So what that generally means is if you look at the rand dollar exchange rate for the past 3 months, it's been going down, and then you come and make a bet that it's going to go up, the technicals are not agreeing with you because the market has the sentiment that, you know what, this price is supposed to continue going down. So I kind of understand what you mean there, especially with regards to Ethereum and Bitcoin as well. When I had a look at it, at Bitcoin, I actually saw that it hit a support line that I drew 3 months or 4 months ago, and that was a good enough buy indication. And lo and behold, it did kind of hold back and the price rebounded at that support line. So, yeah, Fred, I hope you are comprehensively answered.
No, yeah, thanks,
Oh.
guys. I was just really interested to know. Because it's
mhm.
easy to fall into FOMO when you're on Twitter and you're seeing everyone speaking about crypto, different types of crypto, they're buying the dip, and it's always important to really just zoom out and realize that they may be just using from their own strategy. You can get lost sometimes, bro, because there's so many cryptos, there's so many different stocks people are talking about.
Did
And
you
if
see the
you're
one
not
that we're talking
aware
about
of-
recently?
Eh?
Did you see the one that we're talking about recently? TAP. It's called TAP.
Tap, is that like a cake, one of those cake type of crypto?
No, it's actually a cryptocurrency, like TAP. It's called TAP.
Oh, that's the first time I hear that. That's interesting.
Yeah, what is that? I've never heard of this tab.
So I don't know. It has something to do with water supply. I think that's what the cryptocurrency was based on, and the most simple name that
no.
could come
Oh,
up
no.
with is is TAP.
Oh, no.
I think it did 166% yesterday, if not the day before yesterday. And
Yeah. So I think it's important to understand that there's normally market cycles, right? And currently, I believe we're still in a bull run. And what normally happens in bull runs is that you get all these funny tokens showing up, right? And I think for anyone listening, and this is not financial advice, if you can just stick to the main cryptocurrencies, so Bitcoin, Ethereum, and if you
Doge.
must, XRP. No Doge. No Doge. Don't, it's a meme coin. I think people think it's funny because it's going up, because it's meant to be funny, but it's actually a meme coin. When you look at, the development or lack thereof, you'll be, actually nervous because the network is not secure, right? So you can 51% attack it, and then, the Doge network can actually be collapsed, right? So it's I think the crypto space is getting a bad rep because there are all these funny tokens that are that keep popping up, and they kind of destroy the ethos of what Bitcoin is trying to do, and to some extent Ethereum and XRP. The rest of the tokens, honestly, these things are programmable, right? So currently, Bitcoin is going through an upgrade, right? So they're going to introduce privacy on Bitcoin. So smart contracts can also be added on Bitcoin. So it takes time to develop stuff because it's a 12-year-old technology, right? So if people buy coins that do the same thing Bitcoin can eventually do, they're missing out on the opportunity to purchase a very strong token that's running on a very secure network. So yeah, that's my 2
Sorry,
cents there.
I've got a question.
Yes, Fred?
When you purchase the EC10 on Easy Equities, do you actually own coins, like actual coins? Or...
Nobody knows, Fred. Don't ask such questions, Fred. We don't want to be blocked.
Yeah, so it works as an index, and I believe what they do is they purchase the tokens. There's actually a EC10 token on the actual exchange because it's not only listed on Easy Equities. So they purchase the like Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc., and they give you that token as a representation of the value of all the combined crypto in that index. So you don't actually hold the underlying cryptos, you just have a representation of the underlying cryptos, which I think, with enough research, you can actually just buy the Bitcoin and the Ethereum. But I think it's making it easy for people to at least, start getting some exposure, because I think everyone right now needs to have at the very least 1% to 2% exposure to crypto. If you're doing more than that, you must really know what you're doing, right? So if you have like 20, 30%, you must really know what you're doing. But a decent 1-2% of your net worth, that's okay.
The problem I had with the EC10 token is that other platforms offer something similar, but when you actually purchase the tokens that they offer, you get the actual token. So it's almost like an index as well, but those tokens actually get sent to you and are in your possession. But maybe it's just a different way they wrote the script. If Easy Equities does trust EC10 enough to list it on their platform, I think it's just for us, the users, to just trust that due diligence was met, and everything should go well, and we continue buying the dip. But yeah, I did buy. I bought EC10 token today. It was the best opportunity, and I'll see how it goes. Whether I lose it through EC10 or I lose it through the markets, it's quite, like you said, Atlekgang, it is quite insignificant towards my entire portfolio. It's not something it's not something that's gonna keep me up at night. Yeah. Fred? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so there's nothing wrong with the EC10 token, right? I think for most people, especially equity investors, they don't actually own the security, right? You have a representation of of that particular equity. So where Bitcoin and crypto comes in, you can actually remove the thing from the exchange, put it on a hardware wallet, go wherever you want to go with it in the world. That's actually the power behind Bitcoin and crypto, is that you can actually have ownership of something that is digital. We've never had the ability to do that.
I just want to ask you, do you own EC10 tokens?
Yes, I needed to get some exposure because my teammates pushed me to it. But if it was up to just me, I would just stick to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. But some of the analysts in the team have, said that Cardano and all these
Okay.
fancy tokens have an opportunity to go up. But if it was up to me on my own, I would not, get the EC10 token because it does not represent, crypto. It's just like an equity stock. You're not using crypto.
Okay. My follow-up question is, do you own any Dogecoin?
No Dogecoin, no meme tokens. So
is that what you think?
Yeah, no meme tokens. I really wish that people that own Doge, it goes up and it goes to the moon, and they become super rich.
Yeah.
But
Is that so?
But I feel. Yeah, I do, but I do not own any because I don't believe in it, right? So
do me a favor.
I think anyone who invests.
Do me a favor, right? Just go to Google, all right, and Google EC10 token and check what it constitutes of. And let us know if you own Doge or not.
I told, I have exposure to Doge through the EC10 token, which I said I do not want to own personally, right?
Oh,
so the team that I work with, they've come up with a strategy to have exposure to specific things. So yeah.
So when you say you want people with Dogecoin to go to the moon, you're part of those people. Just say, guys, I want Dogecoin to go to the moon because I also have exposure.
No, the thing is, I really don't believe in Dogecoin and everything that Elon Musk is doing, because, like I said, he's taking away from what crypto and more specifically Bitcoin is meant to do, right? So people are YOLOing in and just seeing numbers go up, and they think that that's what crypto is for. Crypto is not just about number go up. It's about freedom and the ability for individuals to reach like a sovereign, level where individuals are actually free, right? Because we in South Africa, we're actually quite lucky. We don't see some of the things that's happening in Lebanon, Venezuela, and we have, seen what has happened in Zimbabwe. And that happened because the people that were in charge and we trusted with the money actually could not be trusted, right? So Bitcoin removes trust from any individual and it gives it back to the people. But we can't see that because now we're just seeing number go up, moon, so that's why I'm a bit upset with what Elon has done, because he's taken something that genuinely can make the world genuinely a better place, but it will take time, I guess.
Yeah. I'll give you the mic just now, Michael. With what Elon was doing, it brings me back to what Q was stating when it came to the company Nikola. So I actually invested in that company last year, and I really had high hopes for the company. So I reached a point where I had to choose between Nikola and NIO, and I chose Nikola because things seemed really good, But the problem with Nikola is that, when I started realizing the problem with Nikola was when I realized that the CEO was on the platform trying to justify his trucks way too much, and he was basically pumping the stock. And you can go back to my tweets. I actually did point it out that by December, if things don't work out, I'll probably jump ship. And funny thing is, the exact same thing is happening with Elon when he bought all that Bitcoin last year, and he basically became this ambassador. And that could have been a warning sign as well that, this guy is probably gonna, what he's doing is probably not right, especially because he is over publicizing it. And that's basically the situation we are in now. To the point where I'm sure half of us have tweeted Elon to say something about TAP or say something about Ripple, just so that we can get our pumps on and then jump off. So that's maybe something one should consider as well. Something that is over publicized could possibly be something extremely volatile, like Bitcoin has been. Michael? Sorry, Michael, before you continue, guys, this is an open platform. If you don't want to contribute, you can just send me a request and I will make you speaker. Just a disclosure, this is being recorded and streamed onto YouTube. So whatever you say is on the internet forever. Yes, Michael.
Yeah, I was hearing what Atlee Gang was saying, and well, I really, really appreciate the point, saying decentralized money and all. Conceptually, it sounds good, but it misses a huge reason why we had the banking system in the first place. But I get his point to trust decentralization, but eventually, don't you think it's a bit chaotic and, what can I say, it will lead to a lot of confusions?
Atlee Gang?
Yeah, it's Atlee Gang, but it's cool. So I think it will actually bring stability and less wars, because when you look back in history and see why most wars has actually happened, it's mainly due to power, right? So currently, the reserve currency of the world is the US dollar. Before that, I think it was the British pound. Before that, it was the franc, the French franc. So throughout history, there's always a need for people to tend towards one currency. So currently, the currency that is the global currency is the US dollar, right? But the US dollar currently is actually in a bad situation, because when you look at what happened last year, they basically printed 25% of all the circulating supply in a year. So that means the purchasing power or the strength of the dollar is going to decline, right? And because they've started with the printing, it's not going to be easy for them to reduce the printing, right? So when you look at when the printing happens, inflation normally follows, right? So because the US is so big, we don't think of the US reaching hyperinflation levels, but at the rate that they're printing, we don't know what could happen, because we've put the power in a central bank or the Federal Reserve Bank to control all the money flowing globally, and it's people that are doing it, right? So there's difference of monetary policy, beliefs, right? So some people are for the MMT, the modern monetary policy, where they go like, what, let's print out as much as we can and, ensure that we can fund everything that the government wants, and there are some people that are like, no, we shouldn't be printing so much money. But it's people doing it. So with Bitcoin, you don't need people to determine anything. There's 21 million Bitcoin that will ever be in circulation, and everyone knows that. Well, I assume everyone knows that. So the monetary policy is already set. So you can't change it, So yeah, that's why I think it has a chance of taking over most of, or the US dollar. But it won't happen overnight. It won't happen overnight.
And the other benefit of Bitcoin is that it becomes harder and harder to produce Bitcoin as we progress. So that 21 million circulation that will ever be in circulation basically has some form of a half-life. So what that basically means is, if you are producing 10 Bitcoin at 100 watts of power this year, when the halving happens, it means with the same amount of power and effort, which they use hashing rates, you will produce less Bitcoin, or you'll be rewarded less, exactly half. So what then happens is, for the last Bitcoin to be mined, you can just quickly Google it, and to get the actual year, it will take like 400 years or something for all the Bitcoins to actually be mined. And
I think it's 2140.
2140. So that's like 100,
Yeah, I think that's the
120 years for the last Bitcoin to be mined, you know? So it has that backing where it can't be duplicated. I remember last year, or was it the beginning of this year, there was actually a scare with regards to Bitcoin, that there was a double event, meaning someone was able to pay for something with a Bitcoin twice, meaning it duplicated. And that's what caused the dip this year. And once that was confirmed, the price of Bitcoin recovered. But that's the kind of backing that it has, is that you can't duplicate it. There's a finite number, and it's going to take a long time for all that Bitcoin to be mined. When you compare that to other cryptocurrencies like Doge, which prints 10,000 coins a minute, and there's like 10 trillion coins in circulation, you can understand why the value is actually quite low, and why something like that is just a pump and dump, and you can't really invest in it for long-term purposes as compared to the backing that Bitcoin has. That's just my 2 cents. We have Fred back, and Msenti as well. Once again, listeners, the floor is open. If you do want to contribute, you can always send through a request, and I will make you speaker. Fred, Msenti, you wanted to add something?
So I just want to know, so all of you guys basically bought the dip?
Well, I bought today.
Is that my understanding?
I bought that imaginary token.
Well, yeah, I also added some EC10. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough reserved cash for buying the coins themselves.
How do you know?
Yeah, but
about
anyway,
EC10?
yeah, I also which other imaginary coin do we have? But we actually do, like, because there's a lot of funny things with these coins. They pop up every day. Because another new one that's being hyped, it's called SafeMoon. So SafeMoon works in a very funny way as well. It starts with like a finite number of coins, but the number of coins reduces as more people acquire it. So that also creates an interesting thing.
That sounds like a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting how it's gonna turn out. But but Atle Hang actually wanted to say something. He said something that I also wanted to say at that time. So yeah, he's always, I think, like we're always on the same sync, or always on the same page. So yeah, that passed.
Fred, did you make any purchases today in terms of stocks?
No, I'm just waiting till end of the month. I just want to see what's going to happen in the next week. Okay. So that was actually my next point, which is I wanted to ask you guys. So did you just buy because you saw a dip? Well, right?
When it comes to cryptocurrency,
what motivated you? What did you?
It was cheap.
Okay, cool. Okay.
It was cheap, Fred. Like, discount.
Yeah.
Black Friday.
Yeah. So how much do you think one Bitcoin should actually be valued if you're saying $30,000 or wherever we are right now is cheap? Because I think it's important for us to, when we value something, understand how much it could be. So
to actually value Bitcoin is going to be quite difficult if you want to go down to the fundamentals, right? So how you value something is by calculating the cost to produce it, right? So if we look at Bitcoin, the cost to produce it is usually electrical, right? So there's miners all around the globe. So you'd have to quantify each miner's cost contributed to mining an actual Bitcoin, and then you get your what you call this, your profit margin that you add on top of that cost, whatever you want it to be, and then you get your price of what a Bitcoin should actually be. If we are calculating on a profit basis, if you're calculating on a purely cost basis, then you just calculate the cost of producing it, and then you get the result. So why I'm saying it's going to be difficult, because a miner here is going to pay different costs as compared to a miner in China. Here we have to buy power supplies because of load shedding or generators, and now you're mining with diesel. Whereas, in China, they've got lights day in, day out. And some people also do crowd mining, which could reduce the cost. That's how you get the value of Bitcoin. Does it cost 800,000 Rand? I doubt. I think that was just a market sentiment thing. But yeah, that's my view.
Yeah, no, I agree with how you get your value there. So I think, like you said, the network needs to be protected. So if you think of Bitcoin as a bank just in cyberspace, the amount of energy required to protect a lot of money, needs to be quite a lot, right? So the more energy you have protecting lots of money, then the value of the tokens in that network should go up. So yeah, I agree with you. I asked that because I saw Cathie Wood. I'm sure people are familiar with Cathie Wood.
ARK Invest.
What's ARK Invest? Yeah. So she made a prediction that this year Bitcoin will reach $500,000 US. Now I'm bullish on Bitcoin, but I don't see that happening. And I think, it's these type of people again that come in and make statements like that. That's gonna make people really disappointed, right? Because $500,000 Bitcoin equates to, how much is this in rands? Let me just look that up quickly.
I just want to add something. Whether we're speaking of Bitcoin or stocks, no one actually knows where the price is going to go.
Yes, that's true. It's all a fugazi. It's all a fugazi.
That's true. So she's saying that Bitcoin will be 7 million rands this year. Now, I'm bullish, but I would not say that in a public platform, right?
Don't be DJ Spoo.
I think that, yeah. So all these, news that gets, put out there, people.
Did we lose Atekang? Oh.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me now? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. So I was saying she has Bitcoin, so she obviously wants to see the price.
Okay, I think he got disconnected. We have Kilua Zoldiak.
What's up, guys? Okay, I requested when you guys were speaking about SafeMoon. For one, SafeMoon is definitely
Sorry. Protocol. How are you doing? How's the market treating you?
It's okay, man. Just buying the dip.
You got chowed. We can hear it. You got chowed today.
Diamond hands. You keep on holding. Can't do anything.
If you're saying diamond hands, we know you got chowed. You only say diamond hands when the market goes down. You never say it when you're going up. But anyway.
Yeah. What that thing with SafeMoon? That thing is definitely a Ponzi scheme. The way they are marketing it, even on Times Square, they are everywhere. Like they're really pushing that thing. So if you're buying that thing, just know you're not gonna use it for anything. Just hold it, because they even penalize you for selling it. So they charge like 10% of the coin. That's like one of those things.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of true. I think that also goes for any of all these new coins that don't really have a use case. They just there for making money. Like they 5 cents, and then we hopefully buy it when it's 5 cents, and then hopefully it will reach $1 or whatever, and then you get out. So I also wanted to answer that question, like, what's the right value, or how do you know if this thing will go up again? So one of the most easiest indicators for especially when you buy things that you don't understand, so you're just buying to make money. It's like you just have to look at the all-time high. So if Bitcoin did reach 65,000 this year, you can assume now that it since it has dropped by half, that it will definitely reach it again, or even suppress it. So sometimes you don't even have to think too hard about it. So
But no one
sometimes
knows.
that could be an indicator again. Yeah. But like the sense that when it did it before, so why can't it do it again? Like even Tesla stock, I think Tesla at one
Tesla
point was
is a
over
problem.
800. Yeah, like I believe it will reach 800 again, because just simply on the basis that it did it before, on the psychological facts that we saw it happen. And I believe that as long as the company will be around, that will always be a possibility. I know it has a crazy CEO, but I think it will actually outlive Elon Musk, and it would actually might be even a better company without him. We know when the proper guys come over. Same thing with Apple, like after Steve Jobs or whatever, when the
And
proper
Steinhoff.
guys were just there to make it grow. Yeah.
In Steinhoff.
Yeah. But
Um,
what I'm saying, like with most things, like once people have seen that it has reached a certain point, psychologically it makes them believe that it's possible again. So if it has reached 800 before, so why can't it do it again? As long as it's gonna be around, then I think it's gonna be around.
Msenti, do not make the mistake of looking at cryptocurrencies the way you look at stocks. Don't
Yeah,
do
true,
that.
true.
I agree.
True.
Definitely
I
don't do that.
disagree. I disagree.
No, look, the reason now
Yeah,
these
you're right. You are.
these so-called shitcoins are coming up is because of how Dogecoin started running. Then everything was Dogecoin initially is a meme coin. So everyone was like, okay, cool. People are just buying this thing just for fun, and the pump and dump coins started coming through. So in terms of fundamentals, like some of these coins, like there's only probably like 4 or 5 coins which actually make sense. They have something like Tron, Ripple, which are designed for particular purpose. Some of these coins are just, there's over 2,000 coins, man. Most of these things are just there for nothing.
Yeah,
So
but I
don't
agree
look
with
at
that, because I also didn't mention it earlier. Like I said, like the top 3, which is Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XPR, or is it PRX? I forgot the proper version. But those ones, they are about to stay. They are about to stay because I believe they have use cases. So those are the ones that, if I think they have reached a certain price before and they just drop now, like I don't see anything that could stop them from reaching it before. But yeah, everything else, all those meme coins and everything else, yeah, you can't use that same bet. You can't use that same bet.
Okay, we have Hopotso.
Hello, guys. I hope you can hear me.
We can, and we want to find out how you're doing today. Did you get chowed? Or you're not invested?
Yeah, no, I did get a bit of a beating. My portfolio is 70% in the crypto market. And of course, I don't encourage anybody to have 70% of their net worth in crypto unless you are a believer in the technology.
Oh my God, so you're not feeling
Yeah,
it right now.
but I didn't sell anything. I just topped up on some of the coins I've been eyeing. So I did today because I saw some of the coins I've been sort of doing analysis on, and they were cheaper. Unfortunately, I had a bit of extra cash on the side, which was not significant, but I did put, something on and bought some of the coins.
Do you buy Dogecoin?
But I believe in definitely not. I did buy other coins, but I don't want to talk about what I bought because I don't want to pump my bag. Um,
Are you one of
but
those
yeah,
that are you one of those that when the markets are going bad, you delete the app and hope that it reverses?
no, the thing is, I think unlike most people currently in the crypto market, I've got the advantage that I've been in the market for 4 or 5 years. So some of the drawdowns that have been happening, yes, my portfolio got a beating, but I'm like 20-30x in profit. So if I can stomach the beatings. I think I lost like 250K in the portfolio today. But of course, you will recover. All you just have to do is just look at what you bought and why you bought it. So that's what kept me, hodling. But what I wanted to say was everybody was talking about analytic or fundamental analysis models that we sort of use in analyzing some of the cryptocurrencies. One of the models that people usually use is the stock to flow model, which you would find that is mostly used in commodities. Because as you articulated beautifully, that Bitcoin, over time becomes harder. So it's one of the analytic point is that, as it gets harder, because of its rarity, it's sort of tied to the value of Bitcoin. So if you look at Bitcoin as, a commodity, you can use the stock to flow model. Personally, I think that's much better than looking at it as a currency, because I think if you look at it as a currency, you sort of miss the point of it all. So yeah, I got a bit of a beating today, but I'm still hodling. I sort of believe in what Bitcoin is trying to do. But I'm not directly invested in Bitcoin currently. I have a fraction of it, but most of my portfolio is in other cryptocurrencies and tokens. And what most people don't realize is that the crypto market has got different sectors. It's got NFTs, it's got DEX, decentralized exchanges. They've got platforms, like Ethereum. So there's different sectors. You have people that are in asset management within crypto. So people have to, what I wanted to say is that people have to try to expand their sort of horizon and don't look at the main cryptocurrencies, but look at other currencies that offer a lot of value that might not have a no, I think it's like a quadrillion of coins there. Don't know what kind of value you can extract out of it. But I just wanted to say, guys, look at other coins, look at other sectors within crypto. There's many sectors within crypto that offer a lot of value. And what made me lucky in the beginning is that I bought a coin like below a few cents, and eventually if you hodl for 2-3 years, you are 20-30x with that coin. So, and most of these coins that are sort of mainstream, you do get like 100, 200, 300 in the investment. But with good coins, if you get a good coin at the beginning and you buy it, you can easily 10, 20, 30x. And with crypto, we say a minimum on a good solid project which has fundamentals, you have to get a minimum of 10x on your capital.
Yo, Robert. Yeah, you spoke you spoke a lot. But the only thing I heard was I lost 250K. And you're saying you don't feel it?
It's painful, but to be honest, it's painful. But I'm as much as I am 70% in crypto. I also have, just like everybody else, I have my tax-free. I've got a savings account. I have my, my investment in other platforms. But I think most of your money should be in an innovative space. And for me, I know, investment philosophies differ from person to person. But my investment philosophy is that most of your money must be in assets that really work for you. And I believe that innovation, you can never bet against innovation. And I believe the space, some of the best companies will come out of the space. And of course, it's going to be hard to find the winners. But you have to, look at good companies and projects that are run by really good projects. And the thing is with crypto, it's easy to get information on crypto than in the stock markets because, there are gatekeepers there. But in crypto, you can even get access to Coinbase portfolio, for an example, as the first crypto company to be listed on the, stock market. You can get access to some of the coins for from other asset managers or venture capitals on where they're investing their money. And some of the some of the reports are accessible to everyone, and you can deep dive if you like those kind of things. And there's so many guys who are building a lot of infrastructure within the crypto space, and I think people can make a lot of money out of those kind of projects. But I think attention is more on the main cryptocurrencies. I was just trying to say, try at least to expand your horizons to some other sectors within crypto and look at those kind of opportunities that might, be of benefit to you, and just get them at the earliest of stage. And I think in crypto, what you should be aware is that supply plays a pivotal role in the value of, a cryptocurrency or a token. So I try to cap, at least at 1 billion. And I see some cryptocurrencies with so many, so much supply, and I think it's a bit harder to extract value out of those ones. But I didn't want to say much. I just wanted to say that.
Okay. I see Fred has a question, and he wants to ask, did you mean 250,000, $250,000? That's what you wanted to ask, right, Fred?
No, I wanted to ask, you just clarify, those are unrealized gains, right? Meaning your portfolio, and you actually haven't lost that. It's just, is it an unrealized gain? Sorry, unrealized losses.
That's true, because I had targets on specific ones that we got so much gains. So I'm happy that there was a bit of a pullback. And even in the 2017 bull market, we had the same cycle whereby, we went from like 3,000 to like 20K or 30K. And then we had that dip. So I think it's healthy that the market goes through these cycles and it shakes off a little bit. And there was a lot of exuberance in the market, I think, and it was bound to come. And I think we should just wait for consolidation and see where the market goes.
So last question.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you had quite huge gains at some point. Did you not take profit, or did you just leave your funds invested?
Yes. I think once you understand the technology, I think a lot of people have that fear because, they haven't understood the technology. And I think that's why I encourage people to actually learn a lot about crypto. And I think once you have that peace of mind, then you will know what you will do with your money. But the money that is in crypto is in crypto. That's my principle. Um, I have a specific thing in mind, a specific target that I want to achieve. I won't achieve that in the stock market. I know I want to achieve that, anyway. And
Then you
because
clearly
it's an
never heard of
industry.
PPC.
Yeah, no, people made like wonderful gains there. I'm hoping that my dip in
Educational holdings.
FA will get me there.
So Khopoto, I see you, Azande. You come in. I've been looking for the perfect business partner for my pyramids, for my business, and I think we should maybe have a discussion around that 250K. I promise it's not a pyramid scheme. It's a very valuable business proposition. It's a triangle. It's not a pyramid. It's a triangle. I promise.
That's how pyramid scheme start.
Azande.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Good evening. Yeah, I've got a quick question. There was a point that Khopoto touched on the cryptos.
Before you ask,
yeah.
how have the markets treated you today?
Oh, it's I've been massacred, and
did you lose 250,000?
No.
Okay, now continue with your question. We want serious losses here.
I don't think I would be here if I lost 250,000. But yeah. No, I've just taken it, with a bit of humor, and I've just enjoyed the memes. You touched on the point of supply, and that's like such an interesting thing when it comes to crypto, especially like these big cryptos, TRX, Cardano, and there's like such high supplies when it comes to those, and they've already got like a large market cap, yet so many people are betting on them to still go to the moon. Like, I just want to hear other people's opinions on that and what they think, because I also get a bit skeptical when I see like these massive supplies. We've got billions and billions of a particular token. As great as the project is, it's a bit worrying, So yeah, I just want to hear people's opinions on that. Yeah.
Any of the speakers? I want Khopoto to touch on that.
Yeah, personally, I think supply plays an important role. For me, it's my first, point of analysis when I look at a cryptocurrency. I look at its supply, and for me, as I said, I kept it at 1 billion. And for me, from my own analysis, that I think if you look at the great scheme of things, you look at the market as a whole, you can extract a lot of value much easier in a coin or a token that is, run about that cap of 1 billion tokens or coins. So sometimes when it gets to 10 billion and all of those things, I tend to be a little bit reticent in putting my capital there. So I always kept it at that. But I understand there are analytical points of other people that it doesn't really matter much market cap, because there are other analysts that think market cap doesn't really matter that much in the crypto space, because you've got a more of a global exposure. If you think about the stock market in JSE is mostly traded in South Africa, and it's a bit difficult for other people in other parts of the world to get access to it, although there are many people who do have access to it. But with the crypto space, it means that you are basically trading with everybody in the planet. As long as you have got an exchange, you can trade that. So other analysts say, with crypto, you don't have to look at the market cap, because we are speaking about all the wealth in the world, or part of that, holistic wealth in the whole world, which is a lot of money, that and it's insignificant. But for me, I just think that supply plays a huge role in buying a crypto, I wouldn't buy anything above 1 billion in supply.
Any of
Yeah,
the other
so
speakers want to add? Atlecha?
yeah. Can you guys hear me properly now?
Yes, we can.
I've moved around a bit. Okay, cool. So I just want to firstly disagree with something Hopoto said, and something we touched on earlier, is that, stick to Bitcoin. If you must, go to Ethereum. If you really must, go to XRP, because these things are just like, networks, right? And because they're programmable, all of these things that all these fancy tokens can do, Bitcoin can do in the long run, right? So allocating funds to projects that can easily be side chains of Bitcoin, I find a bit risky. But in a bull run, I guess you can kind of gamble a bit. And I'm actually surprised, Hopoto, because for most people that spend time in the crypto market, they always tend to lean towards only Bitcoin. So I don't know how you managed to, get to all those alternative coins.
Yeah, because that's my problem with this market, is that people are just concentrating on yes, Bitcoin is the lead in the market, and I think I don't want to disrespect Bitcoin in any way. It is really the peak of it, because the technology is the most secure network, and the technology, it's at its peak. So I don't have any problem. But what I just wanted to ask you, are you a Bitcoin maximalist? Because there are people who are like that in the space, who just believe that Bitcoin is the only thing that you can invest on, and all the alternative coins are shit coins, especially the old OGs in the market. But I have a different perspective on the space. So I believe that there are other coins that offer a lot of value within the space, but you just have to be able to analyze, and you have to have the technical expertise to look at those things. And once you have the technical expertise, you can find a lot of gems. I can tell you there's a lot of projects that are doing amazing things in the space, and probably in the next 5 years, the top 10 cryptocurrencies, some of them won't be there. There will be other projects that offer. Yes, Ethereum and Bitcoin are the, I don't like Ripple personally. I just think that Ripple is not doing anything that's out of the ordinary, because if they say they're trying to make it efficient to, do these cross-border transaction, Bitcoin can also do that. And that's why there's some of the upgrades that have been done on the chain. So, but I have my own opinions. I don't want everybody to agree with me on that, and it's okay.
Yeah, so I lean towards Bitcoin maximalism. I don't know if that's actually a term that can be used, but I understand what Ethereum is trying to do. However, my challenge with Ethereum is that when you look at it technically, it's fairly centralized, right? Right now, I can run a Bitcoin node and know exactly what the supply is, but to run an Ethereum node, takes quite some doing. The guys are running it off AWS, so. Ethereum.
Hey, guys. Hey, you guys are getting technical. I mean, come on. Not all of us know postulates and what.
I was about to say that.
Can we come back to Earth, please?
Yeah, no, sorry about that, guys.
I've got a question that I want to ask that I think will help us to come back to Earth.
Yes, please. Hey, we're going to the moon now, literally. Hey, these guys were building rockets with cryptocurrencies here. Yes, Blessing, your question.
Okay, my question is around the guys who hold EC10. Right? How do you guys manage the 2% expense ratio. For me, it's quite on the high side, and it really is a push factor when I look at buying into EC10. That's one of the reasons why I've kept my holdings very minimal on that. I don't know if I should call it an ETF.
Do any of the speakers want to answer?
Blessing, with EC10, the 2% is the least of our worries. We don't even know if they have the coins. So, so worries about it. Where are the coins? It's like the 2% is the least of your worries.
But if you consider that people who buy into EC10 generally are not trying to like trade it out in 3-4 months, it's something that you're looking to hold for the next maybe 4-5 years. And if I'm really to look at the possibility of how much value that EC10 is going to be in the next 5 to 10 years, as a crypto ETF, I think it's going to be worth a lot of money, and that 2% is also going to be a lot of money.
So you're worried about the cost of investing in?
Yes. So yeah, if I am buying EC10, it's giving me exposure to like 10 coins, right? What if I just buy those coins independently?
That's what I actually that's what I actually alluded to earlier on, and I stated that other platforms actually, when you buy these coins, or when you buy their version of this form of index, you actually own the actual coin, and the cost doesn't amount to 2%, because 2% is like for every 100,000, 2,000 rand.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I won't lie, I bought EC10 for the fun of it because I saw that it's got Dogecoin. That's literally the only reason why I bought it, and it was at a dip. It was an insignificant amount, so I wasn't really worried about the cost of it, because it's not my primary investment. It was just, for the fun of it. It was at a dip, it was like really low, and I said, what, there's some funds there, why not? That's how I tend to actually approach cryptocurrencies, as a joke. I mean, the ones I bought on Velar, I just took a Scrabble bag and picked out 5 letters, and I saw which cryptocurrencies start with those letters, and I bought. That's the amount of effort I really give cryptocurrencies when it comes to investing in them.
Yeah. Just to add also why I also added EC10 while I also have the coin separately. It's the normal reason why you'd have an ETF, I guess. It's like it's managed. Somebody has to deal with it. Somebody has to kind of balance it. So, because I think that about 2 or 3 weeks ago, they actually reduced the Bitcoin holding of EC10 from 70% to something like 50%. So, which is something that you, when you're doing it by yourself, you don't make those kind of decisions. You don't manage risk as somebody who does it for a living or who does it every day. So it's just like when you don't want to worry about your crypto every day, it's just better to have it somebody have it managed, even though they comes with those costs and those kind of funny things. But yeah, for any reason, yeah, it's like it's somebody manages. So that's enough reason to actually also have EC10. If you don't want to worry about it, or even if you don't want to know what it is, you just want to make some money from coins, which is I assume most people are here for. They don't care about these coins or what they do or what cases they try to solve, as long as they make money from it. So that's my reason for it.
Okay, thanks, Msenti. I see we have Ken. How has it been today for you?
Thanks, James, for the platform. Now, I'll just like to say, it's my first time here, and listening to this conversation, it really feels me. I mean, makes me feel like a kid from the Bundus, from the villages here.
Did you
Like
see
the
what they were
terms that
talking
have been
about?
thrown
Though?
on the table.
You know, like I was also getting lost. I was like, no, these guys are going too far now. They started doing calculus here, and you know they bring out calculators, Afrikaans dictionary. I was like, no, you know what, guys, let's come back to earth, please.
Hey,
You're not
I
alone.
was busy. I'm sitting in my head like, am I the only one so confused? But anyway, I just had one question, right? You guys are talking about crypto, and I would just like to know, what platforms do you guys use for crypto? Because I am more from the, the traditional currency, like the Forex platform. So I usually trade on, on your normal retail brokers, your dealing desk and whatnot. So what platforms are you guys using? Is it Easy Equities? What are we talking about here when you guys say, buying and all this stuff? Yeah.
So I think the most popular ones here for South Africans, and I think most users as well use in terms of South African platform, you've got Luno and you have Velar. And then if you want to go to your international platforms, the popular ones are Coinbase and Binance. And I think there's Altcoin Trader as well. But I haven't been in contact with many people that actually use Altcoin Trader regularly. But those are the top 4 or 5 that people actually use to buy cryptocurrency. If you want to be flamboyant like me, there's eToro, but I wouldn't advise it. Like I always say, I wouldn't buy fish at Nando's. They specialize in chicken, stick to chicken. Same thing with eToro. They specialize in stocks, stick with stocks on that platform.
Oh, all right. No, it makes sense. So we look your Lunos and whatnot is just buy and hold.
Yes.
So a guy like me is I'm more of an analysis. So I like to get my things. I don't know if I should use the term raw. I like to analyze from scratch and find my demands, my supplies, and all of that stuff. So
So basically, you want to use leverage to trade your cryptos.
Yeah, like I said, I come from the traditional currency side of things.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I trade the currencies. So just listening at this conversation, it actually raised a question on my side to say, okay, it doesn't seem like anyone on this platform is talking about analyzing the markets or just looking at what price range, what supply was hit or what demand we're coming from. It's then I had that question to just say what platform you guys are using, but now it makes sense if you're saying Luno. So it's just buy and hold. Not sure if you've got anyone that's analyzes like the market like I do.
Let's hear from the
I
speakers.
follow.
You follow who?
I think he left. There's a guy that was a speaker just now.
Oh.
Yeah. So I follow him. I think he's also a trader. But yeah, is there
Fred?
anyone here that actually analyzes? Fred, yes, yeah.
Oh.
Anyone that actually
speakers?
analyzes like goes to the charts and just analyzes the charts instead of just maybe going on to the Luno and buy at a certain price and hold?
Ken, do you wanna trade crypto pairs like BTC, Ethereum, BTC, USD? I talking about that.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, there's Binance. You can do that on Binance. You can do that on crypto.com and hit BTC. There's also Coin Market Cap and Gecko. That's where you can get like charts, supply, volatility of like crypto pay. There is like a sort of a forex type of thing, but for cryptocurrencies. So there are
with
platforms like that.
cryptocurrencies. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I
There's
actually
a
did an analysis. I did an analysis last week for Bitcoin. It was more like a predictive analysis, and maybe I'll share it with one of the guys. Just to point out how overbought this thing was, and I kind of like it was more of a prediction that it should drop to a weekly demand, which it hit today. So it would actually be fun to network with guys that are interested in, just raw analysis of the chart, and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, Ken. Also, on TradingView, they also got that. So I don't know if it's for all kind of coins, but the popular one. So there are guys who do all that kind of technical analysis and maybe some bit of fundamentals in trading and a bit of community. So if you can create a TradingView account and then you can just search for those ideas, and you can just hook up with
I
those
already
people
have a
who
TradingView
yeah.
account.
Yeah. So okay, cool.
Ken, so you come from a forex background, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, I can hear you talking about supply, demand. So we have a guy that has a forex background, and then we actually got him to be our trader. So we basically set up as a group of individuals. We contribute money, and one guy does trading, one guy does investing. So we run as a business basically. So after 2 months of analyzing the Bitcoin and crypto space, he gave up on his supply and demand stuff because this market moves in a very unpredictable way. I don't want to discourage you from looking at the charts, but in the crypto space, TA basically means nothing. So I don't know if some of the speakers can attest to this, but you can give it a go. Like we've said, and he still has a demand line at 9,800 where he was meant to buy, and I was like, let's just buy at 15,000, and now we are at 40,000 US dollars. If we had waited for his demand region or supply region, we would not have bought in. So I like that you do that, but in crypto, I just want to give you fair warning that after 2 months you'll just throw away your charts.
And now I understand. Yeah, I'm that kind of guy. We just love the adrenaline. It's fun to analyze instead of just blindly buying, because I know even last year buying Bitcoin at the price that it was in, and from my side as an analysis, I was looking at that thing and I'm thinking, who the hell would want to buy Bitcoin at that price at 60? This thing is bound to dip, but I would be glad to actually network with a couple of guys here that are interested in in analysis. I would like to learn more you guys about Bitcoins and cryptocurrencies, when you buy and what you look at when you sell these things.
Yeah, I think Hopotso will be the guy for you. Eh? Yeah, Hopotso, and who was it? They were going to the moon just now. Was it?
Yeah. I just want to say something. I don't want everybody to get other ideas. I do not invest on behalf of anyone. I do not, do all of those things. I just fully invest by myself with the knowledge that I have of the space since I've been in it 5 years ago. So I do not help anyone. I have my own portfolio. I can just make recommendation. I I don't do technical analysis. I don't know how to do technical analysis. I don't know. I'm not a chartist. I don't know anything about charts. I just invest in fundamentals. That's it.
Khopotso, technical is easy. If it goes up, it's good. If it goes down, it's bad. That's all you need to know. Technical, done. Now you're a technical analysis person.
With the guys, with the thing of analyzing like bitcoins and stuff, I have to agree with Atle Hang because it's a very weird like market. Khopotso touched on something called an NFT. I don't know if you guys caught on that. Like these memes and stuff that you guys are using, just throwing around. One of them is an NFT. I think it's called a Beeple. It was just a picture designed on the internet, which sold for 69 million. So to find things like that, it's very strange. So it's one of those things where you can't really trust your technical analysis. What do forex people call it? Price action, what? So I don't know. So just be
the thing with cryptocurrency is it doesn't move on, or it barely ever moves on anything fundamental. It's just people speculating the price of what it should be, what it can be, what it will be, or what it should have been. I guess that's what people are saying in terms of technically and analyzing crypto, which is what I alluded to previously, that if I'm going to buy cryptocurrency, it's going to be something I pull out of a bag, and that's as far as my technical analysis goes when it comes to cryptocurrency. I mean, even speculating that it's reached this price point, it could reach that price point again. I don't even do that. I spend zero brain energy when it comes to picking cryptocurrency. I'll just pick 5 and see how they go in future. But I don't know if there is anyone here that does want to join or group up with Ken. I think you can give him a follow, send him a DM, and you guys can link up and to make things happen. But I must stress that my view, I'm not saying my view is right or correct. I mean, there is a $1 billion investor out there that said Bitcoin is useless, and he saw it go from $300 to $30,000. But yeah, if there is anyone who does want to connect with Ken on his venture, you're more than welcome to give him a follow. Ken?
I also agree with that guy. I'm actually expecting Bitcoin to hit the lows of 19, 18, somewhere there. So yeah, I would actually like to enjoy the bloodbath of people that are buying Bitcoin this high. So yeah, from a chartist point of view, I just just after plotting out all that predictive analysis, you can just see where Bitcoin is headed.
I see, Q, you've been trying to come in and you've probably been disconnecting as well. Is there something you wanted to add?
Thanks, Tez. Not really, but Ken, I'm one of those who traded Bitcoin against the USD with Exness. I use Exness for my currency trading. And the reason why I do not touch Bitcoin today is because this day, all my technicals were working. I had loads of profits on Bitcoin. I went into a 2-hour meeting and I came out and most of my trading amount was gone. Like my money was gone, and that's the reason why I don't touch Bitcoin today. So I'd be very much interested to what to how you approach your technicals and your analysis. But yeah, I myself, yeah, it's
Yeah,
rough.
it's actually interesting because I think someone made mention of what moves Bitcoin. Um, you can't approach Bitcoin the same way you approach traditional currencies, and you can't approach indices this way you approach traditional currencies. So for people that maybe invest in Nasdaq or US 30, they know quite well that they also don't respect analysis that much, but it's a thing of how you look at your your charts and how you actually analyze. Professional traders will tell you that you buy and hold when it comes to Nasdaq and US 30 and all these other stocks. So, but with currencies it's different. So I guess the same principle would apply on Bitcoin, especially with all these endorsements that are happening with big companies. You probably want to look at a demand, buy that thing and hold it, instead of ping ponging, Bitcoin. That's when you're gonna get hurt.
I see we have
Yeah.
King KP. King KP, you're on mute. Atlekang?
Yeah, well, King KP sorts out his technical difficulties there.
He's busy with
I
technical
think,
analysis.
yeah, he's busy, that man is busy. So Hopoto mentioned something that I think we rely on quite a bit in the Bitcoin space, and it has not failed us so far. It's called the stock to flow model. It's by a guy called Plan B. You can follow him on Twitter, and basically his model kind of fairly estimates the price of where Bitcoin could potentially be. And for this market cycle, he's predicted a 288,000 price in dollars for Bitcoin. So if we go to 19,000 US dollars, I'm gonna sell my fridge, my TV, everything that I have to buy Bitcoin at that price. So I think most people in the market are probably aware of the stock to flow. So when the price goes anywhere, below 30,000, I think there's a huge demand to purchase Bitcoin, because it's not only retail investors. We have now banks, we have huge institutions that are looking to get into the space. So for them, if they have material that they can reference that's reliable, and Bitcoin is at 30,000, they will buy it up. So if it goes to 19, Ken, I hope you're right. I will buy as much as I can, and when it gets to 288, I'll call you up and buy you a bottle of the most expensive champagne I can get.
Yeah, I'm sure by then you'd be able to afford more than champagne, buddy.
Do we have King KP? He's still on mute. King KP, going once, going twice. Okay, we'll assume he's not here. Maybe he fell asleep.
Yeah. So I think again, Khopoto, your 70% allocation, man. I think I just checked on Twitter now, and people are actually, concerned or just curious, maybe. Why on earth would you allocate 70% of your money into crypto? It seems like a lot, even for me.
Yeah, no, I get it. It makes sense why people are so nervous about it. And I think I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. unless you have been in the space for a long time. But for me, I think I've got the advantage of being in the market for quite many years, and at least I can stomach some of the volatility. 30% is pretty standard in crypto, and I know if you're used to the stock market, 30% drawdowns will give you a heart attack. But I think as you were part of the last bull run, you would know that these pullbacks are pretty normal. But for me, I have a different perspective on what volatility is. Some people look at it as a risk, but for me, it's more of an opportunity because assets that move a lot tends to create more wealth for me. So I'm much more aggressive because most of my allocations are into aggressive assets. And of course, when I reach those specific targets, then I will lock these profits into other, asset classes which are much more secure, so that I don't just lose some of these gains that I've garnered. It is quite hard to get to this place, but it's been hard work and just reading and studying the market. But you can find a lot of gems. Don't concentrate on the main ones. Just look further, look deeper. You will find solid projects. That was my sort of encouragement to everybody. I can just show you the ones that I've invested in, and you can check the charts, how much it has done maybe in a year, so that, because some people think I'm sort of lying. But
Okay, guys. We can wrap it up now. Any parting shots from the speakers?
Before we wrap up, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So we can already tell what are the favorites. Yeah.
Dogecoin.
Crypto. I want to know about Shiba. What do we think about Shiba?
Shiba is the greatest invention in cryptocurrency history. Like, there's never been a more sure cryptocurrency than Shiba Inu. It's cute. I mean, if it's cute, guys, I don't know how you can't bet on something that looks really good.
Well, I hope so. I'm an altcoin trader. When we spoke about platforms earlier on, so I'm an altcoin trader, and they gave us 40,000 free Shibas, which was worth 14 rands. But I'd like to know what my Shiba can do.
Buy Shiba, guys. Buy a lot of Shiba. I need a new Mercedes Benz. Buy Shiba, people. Come.
Yeah, so for me, I just want to go back to what I've been saying throughout the space here is that get Bitcoin if you must, get Ethereum if you are really stretched, get XRP. Stay away from the meme coins. If you know how to trade and you're really good at it, you can go in and then sell at the top. But if you don't know how to identify the top, then you're putting your capital at risk, right? So capital could be a bit safer with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. And again, with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP, it's not a done deal 100%. You'll make your money, but they are a safer bet in the space. That's what I think, because when you look at what Bitcoin is basically trying to do, you must think of the internet in the early days, right? So 94, 95, there was not much you could do with the internet, but the internet was there, right? So development needed to happen so that we can have smartphones, make data, a bit more available, be able to stream. All of that stuff needed to be built up over time, right? So Bitcoin right now for me is where the internet was in the 70s. So if we can understand and get Bitcoin now, in a few years, I believe you could reap the benefits of owning, a very strong token on a very strong network. So for me, it's just Bitcoin. If you must, Ethereum. If you really, really must, XRP, and stay away from everything long term. But if you want to trade, go for it.
I can't imagine myself looking at my dog and telling my dog I'm not going to buy Shiba Inu. It will break its heart. I mean, guys, if you have dogs, support wildlife. Invest in Shiba. Shiba was made for the sole purpose of killing Dogecoin. I think it's called the Dogecoin killer. That's the only purpose of Shiba. Quite anticlimactic. Trying to steal Dogecoin's hype. But I mean, I'm sure it's going to be pumped again. So I would keep those 14 Shibas, since you got them for free anyway. You won't really lose anything. Yeah, I mean, look at your dog and say, yo, you know what? We've got this. We've got 14 Shibas, and Shiba to the moon.
Yeah, man. Like things. Shiba is just Dogecoin in Japanese. My view on looking into cryptocurrency, you can either go there, like, okay, my route, and I think like Kopotso is more on that route. Look at the coin or token as to what problem is it trying to solve. Like Bitcoin, it was designed to be a digital currency. That's what Bitcoin is for. Ethereum, smart contracts, most of these pancake swaps, most of these other currencies, coins or tokens coming from the Ethereum blockchain. So look at what it's trying to do, and then you can check it as a long-term investment. Or you can just be like Tez and just invest for fun. And that's when you buy SafeMoon, Dogecoin, and Shiba. So those ones have but they are not solving anything. They're just there for people to make a quick buck.
No. They're there to make us laugh. They're producing comedy, and that is something fundamentally important for the world as a whole. I mean, no one talks about Bitcoin and has a laugh. It's always something so technical, and they're talking about postulating. But when you look at Shiba Inu and you look at your dog and you just smile, it's solving world problems, guys. Or am I wrong, Kilwa?
I don't know. Let's just take what things that we know. But yeah, guys, buy Shiba, bro. Like Shiba to the moon.
Q, you said you got, how many did you get? Where did you get Binance? How many coins did you get?
I didn't get it.
I'm asking Q, how many Shibas you got? On altcoin?
Yes, they gave all altcoin traders 40,000 Shibas, which were worth 10 rands.
Yo. Imagine if those 40,000 Shibas become $1.
Dude.
That's $40,000.
How, Sway? How?
That's what Shiba can do.
I also want some of those.
when you look at the circulating supply, I think it's like a quadrillion tokens.
I mean, Atlekang, we're having fun here. Don't come with your technical. We don't care about supply. What if it hits $1? That's what we want to know.
It can happen.
Yeah, but Q, like he said, it has a lot of supply. Chances are, the only life Shiba has is through pump and dumps. But in terms of anything fundamental happening to it, it's highly unlikely. For every 1 million Shiba coins, there's one person on Earth. So, yeah, it doesn't make sense to invest in it unless it's for pump and dump purposes. Anyone else want to add anything before we close off?
Yeah, from my side, I just want to thank everyone for listening. It was my first time on one of these. Thanks for the followers as well. You guys are awesome. Thanks for listening.
We have Tapelo who just joined. I think he came to say the goodbyes for us. Tapelo? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Tapelo didn't join us.
Can you guys hear me?
Ooh, now we can. Yo, I was about to kick you out.
Oh. Sorry, guys. Sorry for
Yes.
sorry for jumping a little bit late. My name is Tapelo, as you can see from my avatar there. But one thing I think I just wanted to share, a little bit of my 2 cents worth, just around the bloodbath, in the markets, especially the top. I would say maybe the top 10 kind of crypto coins that we have. First and foremost, I think we need to always remember that, especially when it comes to Bitcoin, that it's a free market. This is really Bitcoin centric, in the points that I'm just going to make, that there's no lock limit down, there's no shutting down of the market. We open 24/7, 365, and there's quite a number of stuff that's really happening around that. And that with this thing, I know we're in a bear market, and most people are really waiting for a pullback, and and then they don't buy when the pullback actually happens. I like actually referring back to what happened in, I think, a year ago in March. I think the price was around $3,000, if I can recall correctly, or $4,000, somewhere there. It's kind of exactly more or less where we actually headed to with the bear market, which in essence we will kind of transition into a bull. There's quite a lot happening, but I think at the back of our mind, I think let's to the hodlers out there, in the spaces right now, let's not panic. I think, as one guy once said that, just switch off your phone during these times and just switch it on a week later, but, in just closing, what I just wanted to share with the guys is that, crypto is very volatile. You know what I mean? It's not like when you're speaking about, one of the speakers actually mentioned now with the stocks, it is volatile, but not like crypto. Crypto is really, really volatile. You get a 20 to 30% drop in a day, 24 hours. In 7 days, you can even get 50% to 60%. You know what I mean? And it's what we signed up for. But I think, we know hodling is very hard, but let's just kind of make sure that we know what we own, and that we do our homework, and research and check the markets. As the guys mentioned as well, there's quite a lot of platforms out there to assist in that. There's TradingView, CoinMarketCap. I think is just a little bit of a Bible for most of the crypto guys who are really playing in the market. And and one last thing, don't keep checking the price every 2 minutes. Especially if you're a hodler, just
delete the app.
Take a cruise, relax.
Delete the app.
Even if it means you delete it, just take a cruise, relax. We in it for the long run, And in closing, all that I've said right now, it's really not really kind of financial advice, but it's really what we have picked up, in just being in the market. I've been in crypto,
Tapelo, I just
So
took your
yeah,
advice before you
it's
said it's not financial advice, and I've lost a few bucks. Me and you will have to have a conversation after this. You should have said that in the beginning.
nah, not nah, not a problem. But yeah, no man, that's my 5 cents worth. Let's not panic, and to those who have a little bit of conscience and say, I'm losing, but let's not panic. This is if most of the guys remember when I think it was in 2017, 2018, we had another bloodbath. The streets was full of blood. I can imagine SANBS taking free blood samples because of the market crash. You know what I mean? And it's exactly kind of a remake, but where we at, it kind of speaks directly to what Atlechang mentioned around the stock to flow model that Plan B has created. You can follow him on Twitter. He has a website called planb.com. You can check him out there. He has done really, really great model around tracking Bitcoin and forecasting it. And he also still says that's not financial advice. It's just kind of predicting the price since inception. In the early 2030s. So it's kind of that, but yeah, let's not panic, guys. This is really not a rabbit out of a hat. So this is the crypto market. It's the bears, it's the bulls, and this is how we operate. If you check it every 5 minutes, it would be like sitting down on a porch watching and waiting for grass to grow. Imagine doing that, dude. You get what I mean? So we in it for a long run, man. I think let's take it easy, relax, take a sip of some tequila, chill, man, and just watch the market. Yeah, that's all, man.
Thanks, Tapelo. Yeah, like you said, guys, this is not financial advice, but yeah, buy Shiba Inu, hold long term. We'll see at the end. We're in this together, but if things go south, every man for himself. I think we can close off the session now. Thank you so much, guys, for joining and discussing cryptocurrency. The main topic was actually supposed to be something else, but seeing the bloodbath we had, I decided let me rather talk about crypto today. We do have a very big show on Saturday at 8 p.m. We will be joined by Wolf Financial. I'm sure most of you do know him or follow him. And he'll be giving us an outside perspective on the topic that we're going to have on Saturday. And that topic is finances in relationships. Relationships is a broad term, so I'm not talking about your wife, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend. It's a broader spectrum of relationships, whether it's friends, family, or your life partner. And Wolf Financial is from the US, so he'll be giving us an outside perspective in the topic, and it'll be hosted by me and Fred as well. That show will be at 8 p.m. For those that do struggle to join Twitter Spaces, I will be streaming it on YouTube as well, so you can also watch through there. But yeah, guys, I think we pulled off another 4-hour session. That's why I started it earlier today. I didn't want to sleep at midnight like last time. But yeah, once again, thanks for joining. Now I can release you back to your portfolios. Continue crying the tears. Continue calculating how you can get your money back from Bitcoin. And yeah, see you guys this weekend. And before I go, guys, you can tweet me. I'm sure this conversation is going to continue on Twitter. I will be conversing there as well. But yeah, enjoy your evening.